stuff to cover.
Yay.
Uh, there we go. Okay, now I'm not at home, so I gotta do this a little differently. I gotta figure out how to share my screen. Can
This
you
is
help
good.
me? Maybe
Absolutely.
if I can share my screen, then maybe you can show me how to share my screen.
Okay, let's see what we can do here. Let me go back and do a smaller version so that I have all that stuff showing. Okay, you want me to share my screen or are you going to
No,
share it?
I
You're
was
gonna,
just
oh,
kidding.
I see. Then you're
I
going to
was
share.
I was just kidding.
Oh, I know.
You don't have to show me. I knew how. It just had been a while.
Yeah,
And then trading. Yes, now I got my trading screen. Yeah, it's like totally different. Because at home, I've got two different screens.
yeah,
So
isn't that nice?
it's nice that extra real estate. So
It's
now I'm
good for the
hoping,
brain.
and I
Oh, are
can't
we
see
do?
what, I can't see whether or not you can see me, because
I
I'm.
can see you, and I can see that we're looking at gold and silver.
All right, perfect.
I don't know
Let's.
what that is. Is that a comparison chart?
Well,
It says up at the top,
you know,
US 30.
yeah, we're gonna get to this. This is the U.S. 30. This is the Dow Jones Industrial Average Index with the
Okay.
gold and silver prices.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So that's what this chart is. Now we're gonna come back to this because we got to talk about silver and gold
Yeah.
because we created another low.
Silver was at 77 or something. Is it lower today?
It went even lower today.
Okay, what is it today?
Or sorry, yesterday. Well, today because it's today's trading. But yesterday at that'd be 3 o'clock your time. It dropped down to 64.
Wow.
Yeah. So it just keeps getting going more and more on sale. And you know what I'm thinking? Like if we zoom out, this is the daily chart. We can see we've got a trend line coming up. That might be where we end up settling. Is that coming through okay? Can you see where that trend line?
It's pretty dim. I don't know if I can do something to brighten my screen. I think I can. What is
No,
the
you know
F?
what? What I'll do here,
Oh, here it is, F2.
yeah,
There. No, 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 that's what I did. I just brightened my screen. So
you
let me
brightened up the
see.
screen? Okay.
Yeah. You've got the trend line in. You're going to make it a different color.
Yeah, this trend line here is what we're currently following all the way since July. So,
Yeah.
technically, market structure is showing support along this line. So we'll
What
be seeing how this pans out over the next couple of weeks.
what about gold? Gold has stayed pretty damn. It's not as volatile as silver.
It definitely held a lot more stability, didn't it?
So this has to be about the ETFs, right? And about
100%. It's harder to do it with gold than
yeah.
it is with silver.
Well, because it's so much more, right?
Yeah,
Hold on.
yeah.
I got my breakfast.
Well, and a lot of like other countries are with silver at least because silver is the the currency of merchants. Silver is easy enough for another country to reprice, right? To revalue it. It's like, oh yeah, no, it's only worth, you know, this much of our currency because it's the merchant's currency that is. With gold, that's such a much more internationally traded commodity that they can't really manipulate that. Other countries would be like, we see what you're doing there. You can't do that so much. They still do. There are gold futures, but it's not leveraged to the same degree as silver. The other ratio that we're watching, gold and silver,
Okay.
on
I'm
the
going to
four
turn
hour
your.
chart, we saw another big rise. So, in fact, and that makes sense with silver prices dropping so much, according to according to the ratio, that's going to fluctuate as well, because it's just silver's more volatile.
Yeah.
So we've actually had quite a rise in the price of gold. In fact, gold went up 66%.
What is gold today?
Gold is at 49.65.
So it really has stayed between 48 and 50, right?
Yep.
Where is it now? Oh, 48. Yeah, 49. I see it.
Yeah, you're right. Here we go. Here's the thing. We did bump up above 5,000, just about
Yeah.
51,
Yeah.
just about. But look at that. Let's go to the 2-hour chart, get a little bit more definition on the chart, and we'll see.
Okay.
You know what will also help is if I hide this. There we go.
Okay. Oh, gold. I see gold right there. That's nice.
Yep.
We know what we're talking about.
So this high that we got yesterday, no, that was Tuesday, was just about 5,100. It's 58,
Huh.
5,091 was the high, 91.95. But the thing is that we zoom in now just a little bit, you can see that purple line, right? That purple line is talking about this right here. There, I made that line wet
Okay.
now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see that.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't go higher than here.
Yeah.
So technically, to me, I expect another down.
Oh, do you?
I do. But I would say that it would likely just hit this trend line, just like how silver has that longer term trend
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
And that's something that we're going to see a lot of, is this expansion of trends. I've got another line you can see when I zoom out even further on gold. There's this trend line as
Oh, yeah.
well that we might come and visit.
Yeah.
And we would still be on market structure. So, yep, the pattern does call for that potential, especially now with that recent high coming up yesterday. We did not beat out those prices from the 26th of January.
Ooh, I got it. I'm fixing eggs, so I'm listening to you.
Oh,
Can
okay.
you turn up your volume a little bit? I've got mine as high as it will go.
You know, I will see if I can.
If you can't,
Yeah.
I'll
Let me see.
yeah. Okay.
Uh,
See what I'm just fitting it out.
oh yeah, I can turn it a
Yeah.
lot more. That's much better, eh?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Thanks for letting me know that was low. Okay, I'm going to move on. I'm going to check out Bitcoin prices because this has also had a major setback, dropping down to the low of 59,977. So just under the $60,000 mark. In fact, that drop this week totaled another 24%. So that's a big drop. Well, I'm going to show you something. We've been tracking the market structure. And we've been, on the daily chart, we've been seeing how it's A, B, and then we were saying this was C. And that we were waiting for D. And that, this might be D, but as the price was coming down and starting to challenge the levels at C, 74,000, that's when we put the question mark. Because maybe we're still bouncing off a C still.
No.
But now that we've passed beyond C, on the daily chart, we now have to take this C and move it, and now for sure the D is questionable. Because we may very well,
Yeah.
yeah, this is what it is now. B is over here, going from A,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
On the, so this is the weekly. So I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna turn these A's here, I'm gonna turn them green. Or these letters. And by doing that, we can track that green on the weekly chart. Let me just see here. I do have to just double check that I'm doing this right. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. Yeah. So A, B, C, D on the weekly. Okay, so now we have the weekly marked off.
Okay.
And that weekly is confirmed, a finished extension.
We already knew this.
Yeah. And now, no, I'm sorry. I'm on the daily still. I apologize. I need to do that. So we need to go to the weekly chart. There we go. Okay. On the weekly chart.
All right.
This is A, B, C, D. Yep. A. Currently, we have this on the weekly.
Okay. So it's. I see what you're saying. I see what you're doing. So
Yep.
B went a little bit high. I mean, B went a little bit higher than this D, so it come over here.
Yep. That's right. So technically, market structure, we broke market structure on the daily chart, but on the weekly chart, we're still consolidating after a D. This trend line is pretty crucial because that was providing support since July 2015.
Wow.
So the summer of 2015 was actually the trend line we broke in November. On the daily chart, we have now created. And now I don't want this. I want white now. So on the daily chart, we now have an A, a B, a C, and now a D. Very, very low retracement. And since that low, since reaching C, we have come back up. We actually bounced up 15% already today. So yes, it dipped low. And that
There
makes,
we go. Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Yep. That makes it now where we have a completed extension on that. So this Elliott wave calls for another test. We'll likely see another test. Now, there is a school of thought that goes along line with the Wyckoff theory that we've discussed. And the Wyckoff theory, it doesn't really apply here, actually, now that I'm looking at it. And the reason why is because we don't have much consolidation. So this is on the weekly chart, we can see between C and D that between C and D there we were creating higher highs. But then here on the daily chart was the C. This is right here. There, I put a yellow circle around that C. That C rose up to D. But then that was the next high. And then it came down, challenged B, but then it went up very, very slightly to this C on the daily, extending down. Now, the reason why I'm not going to go with this being a Wyckoff theory is because Wyckoff theory requires more bounces inside the consolidation range. So the consolidation range is only here. And so it didn't really bounce back and forth. So there is the school of thought, though, that this starts to look like one. But, you know, this accumulation that we're seeing doesn't come after the pattern doesn't look familiar enough. So that's Bitcoin. Bitcoin up against gold, also dropping. It's getting cheaper to buy Bitcoin with gold. Bitcoin dominance letting us know where we're at in alt season, and sure enough, we actually have a pretty significant drop. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. We can see that daily trend line. Let's start with daily. Let's go to daily. So we can see that we've been consolidating. The highs have been staying pretty much under 60%. And the lows keep on getting higher and higher and higher. Well, excuse me, I gotta clear my throat, but I'm gonna mute myself first.
Well, Wyckoff. That's how I'm remembering his name. Wyckoff. Well, I put an itch in my throat.
What's that?
And so then
I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
That's all right. I just said Wyckoff. I remember his name, Wyckoff.
also around this.
That's right. That's right. The that's the Sound Vibrational Complex Association. Amazing.
Ooh.
All right, so back to the chart here. On the 4-hour chart, we can see that Bitcoin dominance dropped below that long-term trend line and has come back up and retesting it. This
Amazing.
This is very significant. That
In
consolidation.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said in case of Bitcoin going down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin goes down, and dominance is also now below that long-term daily trend line. So very significant, very significant. If Bitcoin dominance cannot get back up inside this wedge within I would say by the end of next week, if it's not able to get back inside this wedge, we will likely see that drop. Now, this brings up the next thing. Look at how Ethereum
I was wondering about it.
has been growing. It's bounced up as well.
Yeah.
Gold. In fact, it's in the positive. Very much in the positive. And midnight also rising over the last day here. ADA, another similar price pattern. So we're seeing as the flow is coming back into cryptos, the dominance, while Bitcoin prices are bouncing off lows, that might be all she wrote for this ABCD, because the altcoins, if they start taking off, Bitcoin is going to be following them. So that's why we check out that dominance every single day, because it will tell us in what direction, which is it going towards. Is it going towards the digital gold or the digital silver? Are we going, is it the kings that are buying it up, or is it now the merchants?
Oh,
Then, last but not least, we've been tracking the Dow Jones Industrial Average Index for a long time, using it as a benchmark for how these cycles occur, and looking for the patterns. Well, this trend line
wow.
we have right now extends back all the way since COVID. And so this trend line is a very, very strong indication of the trend. And we tested it hard last April, almost a year later. Technically, let's just see what that is. It's 9 months. 311 days. 311 days later, up says it's up 35%. And we've been butting up against that high now for a while, since January 7th. Just keep pushing up against that all-time high of 49,683. But even though we had all these drops, Bitcoin dropped, Ethereum dropped, gold and silver all dropped again today, leave it to the US economy to come out on top and boost their dollar just a little bit more. We can see that markets opened, the orders came in, and that candle shot them up above that all-time high. So today, markets again breaking records. Yay for the US dollar. Now that that's happened, we have to recalculate our ratios that we have here, because we're also tracking this. Hang on, my calculator is, there we go. So with the US 30 at 49,968, we divide that by gold, which is 49.56. It is now at, it's gone down, even though the markets have gone up. The last measurement we took yesterday was 10.65. Now it's 10.08. Almost, is that right? No, that is, yeah, almost 0.6 of an ounce cheaper. So isn't that something? Even though gold went down and the Dow Jones went up, the math is just unbelievable, isn't it? Isn't this something else to watch happen in this real time? Blows my mind.
One of the comments was that why silver dropped was that measure was that Trump appointed a new Fed Reserve chair.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
do you-
Yeah, well, it's got to find a different character for the Metaverse's reality TV show. because the other one was not helpful. He wasn't. He kept on saying we can't raise the interest rates, or we can't lower the interest rates. We have to raise them. And Trump was like, I don't like you. I disagree, and I think that if I just go ahead and challenge your, what was it, $19 million addition to your building. They did a bunch of renovations,
Yeah.
and then he had to go to court for that and all the rest. So that's how he just crucified the guy that wasn't going to do the thing, because they got to make it look like Trump's doing something. So, you know. So now we're going to take the silver price. So yeah, markets divided by silver. Currently at 77.44. It has gone up in silver. 3 ounces. Up to 647 ounces. Or 640. What? No. That's the wrong math. Oh, there we go. 645.13.
What is silver right now?
Silver is sitting at $77.45, but it just rose. It did dip all the way down to 64.
I remember it's just on this call it's gone up.
Yep.
That's how volatile this is.
Yep.
People are buying silver like crazy at that point.
Yep. Just buy the dips. On Wednesday there, Judy said that she had bought some metals, and then right away Kim said, this was before you came in the call, and then Kim was like, me too. Buy the dip. I always find it fascinating to look, where did it go? And this is what I've always find fascinating. It went down to 64. Well, when was it? What was 64 last time? Oh, look, that was actually support and resistance.
When was that, Paul?
Well, it was the all-time high. Is that all-time high? Yeah, it was the all-time high on December 12th.
Okay. Not that long ago.
What's that?
Not that long ago.
55 days.
55.
Yep, 55 days comes back. And, it's funny too, eh? It's like, isn't that something? In 55 days ago, we were like, oh my gosh, how high is silver going to go? And now it's come back and we're panicking because it dropped 47%. It's like, hold up. It was this price 55 days ago.
Yeah, I was there when Kim said she bought an ounce because her son Sam is following it, I guess. But what I remember is that she was saying Sam had bought some gold, an ounce. So she said, "Why should I let it sit around in my bank?" And I think that's a collective thought. I can't hear you.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Right now, everybody's thinking about it. Way more calls about that now than anything. I helped someone find a local dealer, and then they called me back the next day and said, I know someone in Regina, which is like probably a 6-7 hour drive. Nope, I do not know someone up that way.
Money Metals, they're advertising on YouTube, and it's taking them 6 or 7 days to. Oh,
Can you say that again, because I have to mute myself to hear you.
mm, okay. Mm. Okay, that's my dessert. I was eating chocolate. Uh, but no, it's still got chocolate. Um, Money Metals, yeah, their advertising or on their is, we still have silver, but then when you call, because I like to call, I like to have contact. I just like to do human thing. So they said, oh, please go on our website. So I did it on the website. And then I called later when it was earlier, when there wasn't a lot of call volume. I asked him about the minute you place an order, I didn't know that's the price you are at. The minute you place that order, no matter what, whether it's good or in your advantage or not, but it's taking them up to 2 weeks to ship. So, but they say they still have silver, but I think why not say that? Because, there's such a short supply right now. So anyway. And who knows, then you see like, oh, on YouTube, like gold is going to go up to 100,000. I mean, all these wild claims, who knows what to believe, it's good. Like what you're doing, at least it gives some kind of distance, as far as, okay, what does the math say? It's not so emotional. It's like, okay, let's look at the trend lines. And this is kind of an unusual time. So
Unusual, and at the same time, when we see when we see the uncertainty, we can only go based off of patterns, and that's what becomes our benchmark. And typically speaking, we're right 60% of the time.
Yeah, so it's tuition. It's just always tuition to me. And another thing that's happening on YouTube that's a new phenomena is businesses, small businesses are advertising. Invest in me, because people are looking for something outside of the traditional way to invest. And I know that I feel that urge myself. It's like, oh, I want to put it in something that's not even cash, but well, it's an investing in a business that would be beneficial to humanity. Now, these businesses are not that. I don't even remember the one. I think it was a small investment firm, and they were doing land, I think. And I am involved in one of those. Caltier, I think I've mentioned that to you before. Where's not Einar, but Ian? Is he okay? Ian, is he? I can't hear you.
Sorry, yeah. I think he was there on Tuesday, but I haven't seen him this week very much.
Coming up, doesn't Lent come in February? I think.
Lent is, I think, February. Yeah. Go ahead, unmute.
Yeah. Is he and I don't have any noise. Is he a practicing minister?
Not at this time. No, not at this time. He's not retired. He might be retired. I know that he's actively looking for work. He was a contractor, general contractor. I should say general contract supervisor for renovations.
Oh, if only we could teleport.
Could you say that again? Again, I got cut off.
Yeah, I know you couldn't hear me. I just said I have something for him to do, but if only we could teleport. Okay, well, maybe at some point that will happen. Just because we're so available, it feels like, that we can access each other's easily, because this is there, and then, but the other isn't. So it's just, yeah.
Well, yeah, I didn't really have much else reported. I was getting ready for today, all day yesterday, getting ready for this weekend trip. So I haven't really had a chance to check up on any other news. But that's why I like the math approach, because the news is not nearly as weighty.
For Kim to invest, I think that means he's more informed. Yeah.
I am so excited to see how that pans out.
Me too. I mean, in the end, because, if you just keep gold, well, maybe that's not true anymore. Like you said, because it still had value before computer chips. It's probably always going to have this value.
I actually think we're going to be discovering uses of gold. I shouldn't say discovering, remembering uses of gold. I think we're going to find other ways of using it that, even it was, gold was used to cap the pyramids, because it was part of the energy conduit.
Yeah, that, and also, like, it doesn't corrode. There's something metaphysical about that, or having it doesn't corrode, and it will always be a symbol for that, if nothing else. And silver, of course, does. Tell me about your weekend. What's going to happen this weekend, Paul? What are you guys doing?
Oh, I've got a couple of appointments. Audrey Lynn has appointments for her massage therapy practice. And then her daughter is having a born day, and they're getting together for a family thing. Family get together. And I'm visiting an old friend. Yeah.
Well, let's look at midnight.
Sure.
Let's see how to present that to the group. How would I need to get kind of ready for that.
For midnight, the way that I would present this is by talking about how we are creating layers of privacy every time we innovate. New layers of privacy. When the waves of the internet in the past, you would use, firewalls and VPNs to privatize your data. But then how do you allow someone access to your data? Well, you have to do it through old and very, quite frankly, shaky protocols.
So how do you access the world? I mean, kind of like, I'm just translating it, It would be just the world, right? Or would it not be the world? It would be just the world. But you can't, you can't privatize your data.
Okay, go ahead, because I'm just thinking, okay, so your data is private, but when you use it in the world, then it becomes vulnerable, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, even if you have it private, that's one thing. But how do you grant access? Because if you can grant access, then there must be some sort of authentication protocol. If I want to share a file with you, the authentication protocol simply is an email, right? Because I know that you have the account
Yeah,
authenticated where you check it. But the thing is that, you got to have a username and a password in order for that to be accessed. You
right,
got to put in your username and your password. Well, where is that? Where is that stored? Oh, that's stored with the email provider.
right.
Because that's the email provider's property. So if you want to have access to it, you got to create an authentication protocol, a username and a password. But that username and password is private, is it not?
Username and password, supposedly.
Yeah, it is. It is supposed to be.
Yeah,
Absolutely. But what happens is someone else now has custody of it because they got to check it to see. Like when you put in your username and your password, they got to check it somehow. How do they check it? They got to have a copy.
right.
All right. So then you got to spend money to encrypt that copy so that people who aren't supposed to see it can't see it.
Okay, I'm closing the window. There's a little breeze here. Oh. So
And
with,
that, go ahead.
yeah, because
No,
I want to understand this, Paul. I think,
you
yeah.
share first.
No, I was thinking, what does midnight, how does midnight, I mean, I know what midnight does is it privatizes, you can't have access to to my name and passwords and all that, because then we're using something else. Like I can't say it. I know what when I hear it, but when I try to drag it up, no, it's not there. Because they're going to do something else. It's going to be the wallet number, right? Now,
Instead of
yeah,
instead of the old way where I have, like, for you to access my old website,
yeah,
you had to put in a username and a password.
right.
And the reason why I was never happy with that website and I could never put my heart and soul into it properly was because I knew that site data was vulnerable.
Yeah,
So the path that I've chosen is to go down, Cardano first because it's easy to implement. Midnight, still a lot of development is to be done. There's a token, but they still have to develop it. They still have to develop that technology.
So the token is night. Let me just I'm just
Yeah.
trying to build up some kind of substance up here. Okay.
Yep.
So that's that. So the token, let me just go with the token and just build my space up here, conceptual space of what a token is. A token is a stake, proof of stake kind of thing. If you buy a token, then you're not staking. You're buying a token, and that's different than staking, but you're investing in the company, right? Because you have their token. Tell me about that.
I'm going to stop sharing that screen, the other screen there. I'm going to bring in the screen here for the etymology on the word token.
Oh, okay, good.
Because that is very important. Just gotta find it. Token. Share. Now I just want to make sure I can see it. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Top-rated software. Let's go. So here we go. Token. Old English. Sign, symbol, evidence, important.
Okay, yeah.
Proto-Germanic, Taikna, which was the source for Old Saxon, Old Norse, Old Frisian, Dutch, Old High German, German, and Gothic, all meaning sign, token, zodiac sign, even. Look at that. Zodiac sign, omen. And it comes from the Proto-Indo-European root, dike, to show, also pronounced solemnly. I love this paragraph. Also in late Old English, observable characteristic or action indicating an inner state, means of identifying a person. By the 1200s, keepsake, that which serves as a reminder. Then, from the late 14th century, we saw it even manifest as an act performed in recognition of a contract or agreement, public, symbolic display or act. The meaning, coin-like piece of stamped metal, didn't even show up till 1590. I like this one too. Middle English, sense of evidence and support
Ah,
or a belief.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
That to me is powerful. And so
Yeah.
when you tokenize your data, you are simply saying, I got no problem with you seeing this. I got no problem with this data being something that you have the capacity to see. But in order for you to see it, you are going to have to get yourself a token.
Your drivers might be.
So when I say I buy a token, that's a stock too, right? It's, when they have those letters.
Yep.
Is that a token? So when I have a token, I have the thing itself. It's like a fractal, remembrance of it's like a representation of a fractal or something like that.
It's
So
a transference of form of equity.
Transference of form of equity. I see. So instead of like dollars invested in, I gave dollars to this company and they gave me something to represent the dollars that I gave them. Okay. So that's not staking. Staking is where you do something else.
Yeah, staking is a little different. Staking would be another form of contract using that form of equity. So now it's like, okay, yeah, you got to have some tokens. Staking would be like, how many?
I see. But staking somehow feels more permanent.
Oh, for sure.
I see. The form of contract is the number of tokens that you have invested.
And when you're staking, you're saying, yes, I have a belief in what this company is doing or what this asset is doing, where my equity is going to be used. And that confidence level needs to be indicated with a minimum.
So there's a minimum that you can stake with.
Yeah.
More than one, or
Oh, yeah, you can have multiple stakes. Absolutely. And you're just saying, I'm not going to take this money out. I'm going to keep it here so that when I go and look at that data, I've got the contract and funded, staked, that allows me to see that data. I don't have to if you've got data and you had a stake pool requirement, you used a stake pool for me to connect to that data.
So the difference between Bitcoin, which is just proof of work, that the work has been done on the formulas or whatever the equations,
Yep.
it's been turned into, and that contract is that yes, it has we have worked it, we have done the work, but it doesn't, like you said, you could lose money because there was no contract to pay, kind of thing. I'm trying to like connect the dots there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got that right.
So then we have the proof of stake with Ethereum, and then we have the proof of what is Midnight? The proof of privacy, or
Well, using a proof of stake protocol,
yeah,
it allows for a contract to exist. Like that is a form of contract. And there are lots of coins that can do that. Ethereum was the first one that came out, and that was beautiful. And I think that that's why I think Ethereum is the silver, because it's the contracts are the basis of trade. Right? And so this proof of stake contract where we could start building trust with one another before the equity had to finally be transferred over, like after the work was proven. So that distinction, though, has a contract. And while you may have, like, remember the blockchains, they're transparent ledgers. Like Bitcoin, anybody can go and look at any one of the transactions that has ever occurred and see exactly which wallet it came from, which wallet it went to, and how much it was for, and what the transaction fees were. Everything is displayed and public. When you have smart contracts, sure, now you can say, oh, there's no identifiable information that's attached to the contract. But all of the information of the contract is public, is transparent. We can see all of it. And so Bitcoin acted as a layer of privacy for the proof of work, because you don't know who, like, all of those wallet addresses don't really attach anybody to them unless someone comes out and says, hey, here's my wallet address.
Yeah.
Then obviously, then now we know, oh, that's their wallet address. We get into the proof of stake, it's great, awesome. We can now create proof of stake with the same sort of thing, with that transparency. But private contracts don't have parameters that are visible. You have to be able to secure all of the terms and the conditions of that contract. Right now, they're all on the public ledger. Anybody can see them. We need a layer of privacy around those smart contracts so that now no one sees how much money was transferred back and forth in private contracts. Again, it's not to do it all the time, but it's for when you have a private contract, how do you ensure that the terms and conditions of that contract are private? That's what Midnight accomplishes. That token and the trade of those tokens occurs without disclosing to any unauthorized parties the terms and conditions of the contract.
So I'm going to go off screen because I'm going to travel for a minute. That's the wrong one. Okay. So what I'm thinking, like, okay, let me just give you an example. Say I want to pay Taylor. We have a smart contract with terms and conditions, and I don't really want anybody to know. I don't want that to be visible. So if I pay her with Midnight or with whatever through midnight, because is it an exchange, I guess is the first question. And the second, it would have to be an exchange, right? Okay, so hold on just a second. I'll be right with you, Paul.
Just as a comment to that, yes,
Yeah.
yes, that you're right. And how do I? Yeah, the idea is fleeting now. Oh, I know where I was going with it. With this foundation layer, that's a foundational layer. There's going to be yet something else that is transparent on that layer. Because the contract itself, those can be privatized. That's great. Just like we were able to make it where, these identifiers known as wallet addresses, they don't have any identifiable information to anybody's identity. In the same way, when these contracts under midnight are brought forward on the chain, there are still identifiers that are not private, because the parameters of those transactions require who's the sending address and who's the receiving address. They got to be able to distinguish between those two identifiers. But once we have the capacity to privatize a contract, that's the foundation we need to then advance to the next layer, which is privacy over the identifiers in the contract.
Say the government uses midnight and then they have total privacy and we don't get to know the truth about where our money is going. Would that be a use of that, or?
So that's great. That's a great question, because what that brings up is as a rule of law. You see, if you can't see what the public servants are doing with the public money, you're not supposed to pay anymore. Because now what's occurred is that the social contract, they call it, they say, for a contract to be binding, law is that there has to be full disclosure. So if it's not transparent, it's not a binding contract.
So all of the transactions that are going on now that we don't know anything about as a people, that's secret, but then we don't know because they're secret. So we don't know that they're going on. So how do we, or the secret meetings or anything like that? Because I want my privacy, but I don't want to give that to the government.
Right, exactly. This is why I have essentially gone on a sabbatical for the last couple of years, because all of the work that I was doing was focused so much on here's what we need to do, people. Here's what we need to do, people. Here's what we need to do, people. And providing countless solutions for communities that are facing all the same problem. Lots of solutions exist. I can remember, of course, most of the people that are attracted to my message are more right-wing leaning people, and so they gravitate towards this message. But they are still identifying themselves as the slave. Looking at that piece of paper or that autograph from their, from the corporation with the nice little corporate logo, we call it a flag. It's just a corporate logo. It's got the right, look, it looks official. It looks like, graphic designers just were sticking their thumbs up their bums, wondering how do we make this look official. That's what it looks like. How that got done. But then it's just a corporate logo, so people identify themselves as the slave to that corporation.
Is that a token, Paul? The flag?
Yeah, I would call it the mark of the beast, but I mean, people are like, oh, the digital ID is the mark of the beast. I'm like, no, the mark of the beast that people are referencing is in the book of Revelations. In that book, when it talks about the beast, it says exactly the name of the beast, because they were using what's the term? Oh, shoot, it starts with a G. I can't remember the term, but what it was the writers of the day, they would be charged with high treason if they wrote the truth. So what they did was that they used imagery in their language patterns, and when it came time to use names, they took the letters of the tyrant, the name of the tyrant. They would take the letters and they would add them up as numbers. And the number that everybody says is the mark of the beast, 666, was the number that if you take the letters of you take the letters that were used to write the name of Caesar Nero, take the Greek letters and you turn them into numbers, they are 666. So they were just referencing the one who was on the back of the coin. That was the mark of the beast. If you didn't have the mark, which is just, and by the way, the etymology of the word mark interlaces with the word token. So if you didn't have the right mark of the beast, you could not trade. You couldn't buy or sell anything. That's literally what it says in Revelations. So yeah, the flag, I think, is the mark of the beast. And your beast has got red, white, and blue. Mine is just red and white.
So it's the money changers in the temple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. This brings up something in the Bible. People say, oh, Jesus was the Son of God. Okay, well, who's God? And then they reference the Old Testament. He was the one that delivered the Israelites out of the land of Egypt, blah, 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 and created the whole world. What's funny is that the people that were trying to trick Jesus with different, legal loopholes and stuff like that, with the do we pay the tax? Do we pay the tax? Trying to get him to say, don't pay the taxes, right? And he's like, no, just give to Caesar what is Caesar and give to God what is God's, and you'll be fine. And they couldn't do anything with that. In fact, they kind of hung their heads in shame for starting the conversation, because now they look like idiots.
But that's what people say when they talk about taxes too.
Yeah. But that's because they think that you pay to Caesar because God placed him there, because that's what the politicians were saying. In fact, there was a political party at the time. They believed that one of their locals, Herod, had royal blood, and they said that he was the king. He was the king of Judah because he's got Roman blood. Like it was crazy.
I'm gonna have that land for a while. That's like a whole new idea of money, and
yeah,
that really is. I can see where that churns everything around. Churns it, doesn't just turn it; it churns it up. So,
and these guys that had, they had the temple and they were selling sacrifice livestock at 7 to 8 times market price, And so Jesus was all upset about that and drove them out with a whip and turned their tables over. And a week later, he was crucified on a cross. Right. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Unmute.
Thinking about Palm Sunday and all of that. There's a lot of heartbreak in whatever that story is. Yeah, it's just like, oh. I got an appointment at 11:15 with Taylor, so to speak, but I sent your information to Matt and see what he does with it. Maybe nothing. You know, he has a tight circle. So I understand that. I also have a question. Aren't we coming up for renewal of fees of something for the Dragon Riders? Did Judy paid for a year, but wasn't that like right about now?
And she did it again.
Oh, how much is it? Just
Oh,
so
for
I know.
Dragon Riders, it was 150.
For the whole group?
No. Well, it was like 1,500.
Wow,
Because she got 10 tickets.
okay. So that was for Hawaii too.
Yep.
Well, that was very generous of Judy.
Yeah. I don't remember when you started, though. When did you start?
We started in June. We did our individual, I think June, yeah, somewhere around in there. Maybe May, maybe May. It could be, but it was in the spring.
Yeah.
It was a while. And, you know, a lot of times, let me just share this with you because you wondered about that guy who didn't want to do the work, but he wanted to pay and he didn't ask you for a refund, right? Am I right? The energy of linking. When we make this contract, there's a birth there of the emergence of a person that is the combination of you, me, or you, me, Ron, or, you know, and that person is different energetically. It's a compilation. So sometimes that compilation, like with Taylor, because I pay her $100 a week, and she's going, oh, I didn't work all that. See, but she did work. She was thinking. She was thinking, and the energy was formed. So it's like, yeah, you're not going to get it all in. Some days you don't know really, but there's something about that that's kind of a new way of working. In a sense, like, yes, we don't always take care of business, but somehow it all happens, and something has changed, and something's being worked through. So it's just a new way of thinking about it. And I noticed that it's not. I feel totally complete in our arrangement, and I feel it with Taylor too. And I know she doesn't because she's used to maybe the old model, an old way of looking at it. And I just think, oh, you know, it's like when you have a partner and you have business and you agree on a division of profits sharing. You know, it's like it's their energy. I don't know how to describe it. That's the best I can come up with it. But I think we all do it. We just don't recognize it. Anyway, it's just a thought. She's waiting for me, so I better go.
Okay. Have a
All
good
right.
rest of the day.
Just